Okay, so we are back with 2D real quick. I'm just gonna, in the package manager under Unity registry, I've installed cinemachine, and then if you don't have the ecosystem, get ecosystem, which is, you can find that under add-ons. Actually, it's on here, and you can get it, and then it's a package, and you install it. Anyways, hopefully you have it already. If you go in there, you can look it up. You know, if you can spell it right. Apparently, I can't. And there's a package for it. Pretty simple. So once we're in, all I'm going to do is I'm going to create game object virtual camera. Now we have a virtual camera. I can take our player and I can, drag it into these slots. And we can get this box. So I think for 2D, I'm in orthographic view, right? So we can adjust things like that. I'm going to use framing, and I'll get to these in a minute. And on the aim, I'm going to use same as follow target. Right, and there we have, there we go. So now we have these things that we can play with. And I'll show you what these are really quickly. So just by doing that, just literally by installing it and putting it on, we now instantly have a camera that does our bidding. So the dead zone, if I put that to 0, it's pretty close. If you take away the dampening, it's locked on like 100%, right? So it works pretty good. So if I throw a bit of dampening in, it has a bit of a lag time now. You get a little bit of play, right? And you can put this up as high as you want, right? Like that's kind of excessive. I don't know what you'd ever want to go that far for. But, one's pretty good. This dead zone is kind of cool, right? Like if you kind of open this up a bit, and now you move, if as long as you're in this area, the camera doesn't really go. See, like it's not moving, and I leave it and it starts to follow. And then you have the soft zone size as well, right? So you can bring this right down, and it'll kind of cap it if you have maybe something going high speed. So depending on however you want to set those up, you can do that. Right, and overall, it's a pretty easy way to do the camera, right? Oh, of course, now I didn't have that, because you can, it is saved during play. Okay, good. So anyways, now with that, I can add an FSM, because we have actions. So we have a player, and they're tag player. So I can try to find game object. The name is that. Tag player, store as player. And then we can go to our actions for the camera, and you got all sorts of different stuff you can set and play with. And what I want to do is set the follow or the look. Which one am I using? Same as follow target. Alright, I believe it's the follow target is the only one we actually need. I don't think this one matters. Let's test. Nope, I guess I gotta set these off. And the reason why I would do this is if you're gonna have a player that's created, or maybe they die and you want to destroy them and recreate another one, your player could be a prefab then, right? Alright, so there's now you can set the look at target as well. In how I have this set up, it's not really not needed, but now it's we haven't found him. Why didn't we find him? Interesting. We should be able to find the player. Yeah, there he is. We just couldn't find him a second time. Oh, okay, yeah, because I have it. I have get, because that was really dumb of me. So virtual camera, so we have set look at target and set follow target. Yeah. All right. So, and there, like I said, there's like the main reason where is if you have if you want to destroy your player during game, this is kind of a great way to do it, logic-wise, because we can turn around and say, okay, find your player. Is null. Right, so is player null? If it's null, or no, if it's not null, or I guess, and if it's null. So here we'd have, if it's not null, then set. If it is null, let's just wait a frame and check again. Now we could also, in here, is we don't need the not null, but every frame, if it's null, we just go back. That way, well, let's take a quick little looky-see, a gander. Right, so, okay, we have a player, they are set. If I delete my player, I come back here. Right? And that way I can delete my hero if he's a prefab, recreate him and so forth, and the camera system will just pick that up and go. Okay, so that's one thing. Now the other thing is, let's look at extensions. Let's look at the impulse listener, to be precise. So if I go to okay, first we need to create an impulse. Cinemachine, let's do some noise settings. Let's call this took damage, or you can call it whatever you want. Anyways, you get this crazy little window up here. And we're in 2D, so we don't have to worry about the Z, just the X and the Y. So I can turn around and say, okay, in the X, we're going to add, we'll say 0.2 at a frequency of 5. You can do random, not random. And if you want, you can stack these. Right, frequency of 12 at a 0.1, maybe, I don't know, 0.5. Right, and then we look at the Y, and we have that same kind of idea. We can go, let's go like that. So now we have this, and if you if you kind of want to see how it looks like, you can hit the animated. You can adjust, some crazy scales here. If you kind of want to preview it. Anywho, that's not the point. So the point is, though, is we can have, and you could put collisions and stuff, and it'll detect everything and handle everything automatically. In the case for our health, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say impulse. So there's collision ones where you can actually have a bullet build like a bullet like that shaking, how much you want it to shake, and put it on a bullet, and then when the bullet collides, it'll do it for you. But I'm just going to do the impulse source, and it says, okay, well, we need one of those things. So we took damage, right? So this is, just think of this as 1 is 100% for what we just did, and the ways of setting that up. So this is, think of this as like an intro, right? So there's like an intro, like don't start a full shake, go up, right? And we could, real small time zone. How long do we want it to go for? And then we have a outro. I'm just going to take this guy, put him to 0, and let's just curve this thing down a bit. All right, and how long do we let that thing go for? Maybe it's, I don't know, a little longer, and we can adjust a few other things. I'm not going to get too far into that. Okay, so now that we have that, if we look at our health and we say, okay, if we took damage and we're alive, or maybe we want to do it when we just take damage, we can now, there's an action, make sure I put it above any kind of testing like bool test, or it won't happen. I'm going to set these to 0s, and this will just use what's on here, which is this guy here. So now we have not only a camera set up, if our player dies and we spawn a new one, the camera's just now going to hunt him down. The camera's got a bit of a move and slide, and we have things also got to fix, but we also have, if I start bringing squares in, see how the camera shakes? Pretty cool, pretty easy to do as well, right? Right, maybe we want to take that, make that shake a little more vicious, and let's cut down the time like that. Alright, so let's maximize, hit pause, activate him. Now we have a nice little shake to go with it. And like I said, and if you want that to happen when you hit the ground, I mean it's an easy thing to add that in there as well. Like you can do all kinds of them, but you can use the collision ones and actually put in full collision things where if it hits you, it just automatically fires. So there is a very, very simple way to do a 2D camera, and we have an effect of shaking. And if you get into various things on this camera system, it's got a ton of things, right? And you can look at confiners and offsets, post-processing. There's a pile of things that you can actually add on to this.